Hi everyone, welcome back to Learn Turkish the Easy Way channel. This is our next live session, and today's topic is an exercise that we have already done previously, already 5 times. So this is the 6th exercise on analysis and construction of Turkish sentences, during which we usually analyze random sentences in Turkish language to understand the structure, overall structure of Turkish sentences, and learn new vocabulary as I present them. So let's go to our workpad. And just before we start, let me remind you one thing about the noun cases. One thing is important. Why cases, noun cases are important in Turkish language? Because noun cases are the most utilized structure of any kind of grammatic structure in Turkish language, because it can be applied not only to nouns, pronouns, it can be applied to anything, even the verb structures, adjectives, and so on. So we have to know them always whenever we analyze the Turkish sentences, because it is inevitable part, inevitable part of the Turkish grammar. So just to remind, just kind of a recall, to recall those cases, let me bring them here for you. Basically, we have 6 cases, right, in Turkish language. So nominative, genitive, dative, accusative, locative, and ablative. I already have a separate class on this. You can find the grammar class, the video on the noun cases in my playlists, in the grammar playlists. So I will not spend very much time on this. But basically, even if you may see in different textbooks that some textbooks say it's 5 cases, some books say it's 6 cases. So I prefer to be more encompassing and describe them as 6 cases. Okay, so we have basically 6 cases: nominative, genitive. This genitive is the one that is usually omitted in other textbooks, but I prefer to keep it here. So either the nouns or the words can take no ending, which is nominative case. They can take genitive cases. Here you can see the possible endings. Okay, we have dative case getting a ending. We have accusative case, which is getting i, u endings. We have locative, which gets da, de, or ta, te, depending on the preceding consonant. And then we have similar dan, den, tan, ten, preceding for the ablative case. Based on the preceding consonant, it becomes tan or ten. And here we have 3 examples, just random. So ben is a pronoun, right? It means I. I have an example here for pronoun. Ben, benim. Here benim, don't pay attention to this in, because for the pronouns it is unique. Okay, every pronoun has unique genitive case, but for others you will say it is same. Okay, so senin, onların, sizin. Okay, for bizim it is again different, because it requires different structure, but usually I just put everything else here is same. So bana, you have a ending right here. Beni is e ending. Bende, you have de ending. And benden is ablative case, den ending. For the other, we have a noun araba, which ends in vowel, and because of this it may have what? It has these fusion letters here. You see, arabanın, arabaya, arabayı. So we have all these endings together with the fusion letters. When 2 vowels meet, okay, we put those fusion letters in between in order to avoid 2 vowels side by side. In arabada we don't require it, because da starts with the consonant, and arabadan is ablative case. Here we have an example of the word ev, which means house, right? Araba means car, ev means house, and because ev ends in consonant, you don't need fusion letters. So evin, right? Eve, evi, evde, and evden. So this is basically how we change the words based on their cases. Okay, and of course each of these have separate meaning. For example, the ablative case dan, then almost always means from, okay, from. Da, de almost always means in, at, on, and so on. So let's go to our sentences now and see the examples. I have selected again 10 sentences for analysis, for the purpose of analysis. So let's, okay, let me see. All right, so our first sentence that I chose is saat kaç, and this is a sentence that we have already analyzed whenever we learned asking for time, right? Saat kaç. I didn't color any of this because saat kaç, saat basically means clock or time, time of the clock, okay? So the only thing that we can translate here is saat, but kaç is, because kaç is usually how much, right? How much or how many. That doesn't fit to the translation here, so you better learn this as a phrase, okay? Saat kaç means what time is it, or what is the time? Okay, saat kaç. So the literal translation will be what? How much is the time, okay? How much kaç, and then saat. Usually how much it is how many, right? Kaç, because kaç is usually for countable nouns. So how many is the time, okay? What time is it is the figurative translation, and you better learn this, memorize this as this, saat kaç. Okay, so I just don't spend very much time on this because it's a phrase, it is a structure, that's how we have to learn it. Alright, let's go to our second example. Dün neredeydin? Dün means yesterday, right? Dün means yesterday. Nerede means where, and look at this structure very carefully. Nerede, normally nere is where, and nerede, this is the locative case ending. Remember above, here, just bring it down, sorry, up. Okay, let me bring it up. So you see we have this de ending here. This de attached to nere. Nere means usually, normally as the row, the nominative case of where, okay? And when you say nerede, it means at where, in where, okay? So dün nerede, that's basically where we ask where you were when we mean at, okay? When we mean somewhere in a specific location. So nerede means, if nere means location, nerede means in which location, okay? That's kind of the better version of where, because where is not modifiable, okay? It's not appropriate to modify it. Where is where is same in all possible cases in English, okay? But if you say nere is location, right? Nere that means if you say nere is which location, nere that means at which location, okay? And then we have what? This yidin, right? Yi is a fusion letter, by the way. Normal neredeydin is what? It is the combination of nerede idin, okay? Nerede idin. That is basically what it means. Neredeydin combined in a combined way, it becomes neredeydin. Okay? Because we combine this to make, so we delete this two and add ye in between. Okay? Neredeydin. So where you is this idin, okay? Idin is where you here, and that's transformed into idin. Neredeydin, where were you yesterday? Okay, so this idin is the past tense of to be. Okay, so that's another lesson to cover, hopefully in some distant kind of sessions in the future. But that's basically how it goes. Okay, neredeydin. And by the way, whenever you pronounce this one, you don't necessarily have to pronounce neredeydin. That's very long, okay? In Turkish language, in daily language, we basically pronounce it as neredeydin. Not neredeydin, but neredeydin, okay? So we omit this in between to make it shorter. Neredeydin. Dün neredeydin? Where were you yesterday? Okay? So let's now go and look for the third sentence. This one. Let me bring it up. Okay. So yarın benim doğum günüm. Yarın means tomorrow. Benim means my. Okay. Benim means my. Ben means I. Benim means my. Doğum günü. Now pay attention. This is a tamlama. Remember we covered three types of tamlama. Complementary structures. Right. So doğum günü is birthday. If you are going to say doğumun günü, it will be the day of the birth. But doğum günü, when we have only this possessive ending, it becomes birthday. Okay, like for example, door key. Okay, car key. So doğum günü here is birthday. And because in English it's just one structure, one kind of a single word, I'd also translate it as one single in single color. Okay, doğum günü. Doğum means birth, gün means day, but because it's a complementary structure, it becomes doğum günü. Okay. I strongly advise you to to watch that video on the complementary structures, complements. Okay, tamlamas. It will clearly explain the three types of tamlamas we have in Turkish language. So please watch that if you still have not covered that one. So benim here also we have what? This benim, this my part is also reflected here, right? Günüm, right? Günüm. So that M is also. If you omit this one, for example, if you say yarın doğum günüm, that is still valid. Okay, it's okay to say that way because yarın doğum günüm by default already means this M already denotes that it's my. Okay, if you say it's yarın senin doğum günün, it will be N here. Okay, it will be N instead of M. So yarın senin doğum günün, yarın doğum günün, that will be enough without senin. So basically this M is just a reflection of this benim here. Okay, so that's a third sentence we covered. Let's look at the fourth sentence. Let me just keep it up a bit. Okay. Okay, the fourth sentence. Sana kızgın değilim. I'm not angry at you. Now look at this sana. Sana, sen is you, right? Sana is the dative case. This one, dative case above. Okay, it is the dative case of sen. That's how we make dative case of the pronoun sen. Sana, it means to you. Okay, but in English, of course, we translate it as at you, because anger, you say I'm not angry at you, at somebody. So sana is the dative case, right? This one of sen. Kızgın means angry. Değil means not. And then we have this im, which is I am, okay? Which means it denotes me, I. You can also say ben sana kızgın değilim, but we don't have to pronounce ben here. Therefore, sana kızgın değilim already denotes ben, right? Me. Sana kızgın değilim. And here you see it is a verb to be structure. I am, you are, they are, and so on, right? We are. So we covered this already in the verb to be video. That's why I'm not going to spend very much time on how we change based on the verb to be, based on the person, based on the persons. I'll leave it here, okay? Sana kızgın değilim. Alright, that's a... So don't forget, accusative, you see, sorry, dative case. This one is dative case. I specifically keep those cases above for you to see the endings and so on. Alright, let's look at the fifth sentence. Nasılsın? Nasıl gidiyor? So nasıl is how. Sın here is you, right? Nasılsın, which means sen nasılsın, right? So sın here already means sen. Nasılsın? How are you? Nasıl gidiyor? And this is how is it going. Now gidiyor is normally is going, right? It's not a question, but because we have already nasıl, a question word here, which means how, a question word already by default deletes everything that is it going? Okay, so it becomes it is going. Nasıl gidiyor, how it is going, rather than how is it going. But translation, of course, has to be a regular one, grammatical one. So I put still here the correct grammatic translation. Okay, how is it going? Nasıl is a question word. Don't forget, whenever we have question word, any conjugation-based interrogative structure becomes affirmative rather than interrogative. Okay, or when you say, for example, when are you going? Ne zaman gidiyorsun? Ne zaman here is a question word, which by default makes what? The second part, gidiyorsun, not interrogative but affirmative. Okay, nasıl gidiyor? How are you? How is it going? And by the way, this R at the end is usually omitted. Nasıl gidiyor? Okay, you can just say nasıl gidiyor rather than gidiyor. That R is very silent. Okay, it's very silent. You don't necessarily have to pronounce it. Let's now look at the sixth sentence. Okay, sixth sentence. Paran var mı? Now, para is money, and do you have structure? To have structure. Remember, we covered the video on verb to have, how we make verb to have. So basically, you have the possessive ending at the word, at the end of the word, whatever you want to mean as a have, right? So in this case, it's para. If you have paran, which means your money, right? You have to make it possessive, your money. And var mı means exists, right? So basically in Turkish, whenever we say I have something, or you ask whether somebody has something, we usually the literal translation of that structure is what? Your money, does your money exist? Okay? So if your money exists, it means you have money. So you see here, paran means your money, right? And at the end here means your, paran. Var mı means does it exist, right? So the translation is, does your money exist? Which means, do you have money? If you say param yok, it means my money doesn't exist. Let's say you say here, okay, let me just write it. Param yok. It means my money doesn't exist. I don't have money. Okay, that's a short explanation of how we make, how we use to have. Okay, how we say to have something in Turkish. That's a separate lesson. Okay, don't suffice it with this one because it's very simplistic explanation. I already have a separate video on this, so just please kindly go and watch that one. Verb to have. You can search for the verb to have in the playlists. It will come up. Okay. So sentence 6, we are done with that one. Let me open up space here, some space for next sentences. Okay, so let's go with the sentence 7. Let me delete this one. Sentence 7. Beni neden sevmiyorsun? Beni here again is what? Look at the cases, noun cases above. It is the accusative case, right? Ending. It is the accusative case of ben. Here you see, we already have example here. Here, beni. Right, beni, which means me, right? Not I, but me. Neden means why. And because it's a question word, right? Neden means a question word. Sevmiyorsun already is the what? Is the affirmative format. It's in the affirmative form. You cannot say, do you love me? Or don't you love me, okay? You just have to say what? You don't love me. You don't love, rather than don't you love. So, sevmiyorsun, of course, this one is, this M makes it negative, right? Seviyorsun, sevmiyorsun, you don't love. Why you don't love me? That's basically the literal translation. Neden is why. Sevmiyorsun means you don't love me. Again, just to repeat, don't forget, if you already have a question word, like why, how, when, in the sentence, in English, in Turkish, it's not, it requires, the next word will be what? In the affirmative structure. In the affirmative form, it will not be interrogative. Sentence 8. Arabanın anahtarını kaybettim. Arabanın, here you see, it is the genitive case, get the ending, this one, right? An ending, and above. just look above to the noun cases. Okay, arabanın, this one, it has this structure above, arabanın, right? Arabanın, which means what? Of the car or cars. That's why I put red here. Okay, this translation, cars, it's the genitive case ending. Arabanın anahtarı, and this is, by the way, the third type of what? The third type of complementary structure in Turkish language that I just mentioned above. We have, let's say, the first one is where you have both endings, right? Arabanın anahtarı. Then you can say araba anahtarı, which means car key, and you can say also stone heart, which has no, right, kalp, sorry, taş kalp, which means it doesn't have any ending at all. So three types of complementary, and this one is the first one, okay, where we have endings for both of this. Arabanın anahtarı, the car's key, or you can say the key of the car, okay. And then we have what? We have the accusative case of what? Of this structure. Arabanın anahtarını, right? Arabanın anahtarı is a complementary structure. And then we have what? Additionally, the ending n together with the fusion letter ne, right? Which is the accusative case ending, right? You lost the car's key, or the key of the car, which means it has to be in the accusative case. Therefore, we add extra ı here, okay? We add extra ı here together with the fusion letter ne, okay? This one. Arabanın anahtarı, and then you make it accusative. Arabanın anahtarını kaybettim. Kaybetmek is a compound verb. It is composed of kayb and etmek. It is always written in together in Turkish language. So kaybettim is the past tense of losing, okay? I lost. Kaybettim. If you say we lost, it will be kaybettik, right? Kaybettik. Alright, we are done with the 8th sentence. Now let's look at the ninth sentence. Okay, ninth sentence is sana araba alacağım. It's the future tense, right? Alacağım is the structure of the future tense. I'll buy. Sana is dative case. Again, look here. It is a ending, right? Dative case a ending. Bana, sana. It is the accusative case, sorry, dative case of sen. Sana, it means to you, okay? To you. Sana, I'll buy to you or for you a car. That's how it's translated literally. So sana araba alacağım. Very simple sentence. So I don't have very much to comment on this. Let's go to the 10th sentence, and that's a very long one. So we have multiple colors here. So her gün 30 sayfa kitap okurum. Okurum is the present tense, right? Remember, it's the affirmative form of the present tense for the first person singular I. Okurum. And you can say okursun, okur, okuruz, okursunuz, and okurlar. Okay, if you change based on persons. So okurum, I read. Kitap means book of a book. Of course, it is meant here by default. You don't have a separate kind of a structure to make it off here. So sayfa, 30 sayfa, 30 means 30, 30 sayfa means 30 pages. Pay attention to the fact that whenever we have a number more than one, right, the noun that comes after that number doesn't get any plural ending. Okay, it doesn't become 30 sayfalar. It is always singular. 30 sayfa, right? 5 araba, 5 cars. 3 horses, 3 at, and so on. So don't add any plural ending to the nouns, countable nouns that have a number in front of them. Okay. Her gün, every is her, gün is day, 30 sayfa, pages, kitap okurum, of book. Okay, that's a long sentence but very simple actual sentence. Don't think you have, and by the way, don't have any kind of extra nomen. There is no sense kind of a case. Kitap is the nominative case. It doesn't have any ending, right? So sayfa is also in the nominative case, no ending. This one, right? Nominative case, no ending. It doesn't get an ending. So there is no special other 5 cases mentioned. and okurum is the present tense. That's basically it for today. We have these 10 sentences mentioned. Okay, let me put them on a separate page, just as a final page for you to see. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the class. If you don't have any questions, if you have any questions, just address them in the chat. I will briefly try to respond. If not, I'll finish this video. Let me just see whether we have any question. No, nothing. All right, thank you for joining. Enjoy the other videos, and don't forget to put a like if you really enjoy the video. It really helps the channel to grow faster. Thank you very much. Have a nice day, have a nice weekend. Bye bye.